thought about why you are interested in the things you're interested in. Like why you like reading or playing games or watching basketball or playing some kind of sports, and why don't you like other things or haven't you tried? That's what we're going to talk about today. Yesterday, I walked a distance of almost 20 kilometers with my friend, and I ended up at about 28,000 steps, just over 28,000 steps. I remember at the end of last year, or towards the end of last year, I wanted to do something for my birthday, and I decided that I was going to walk 27,000 steps. Now, I didn't try to do this because I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I can't do that. And here I am a couple of months later, and I walked 28,000 steps. When I finished, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? What? How did this happen? Like, where, why did I even do this? And I started thinking about it, and I was like, you actually really don't know things that you like or you could like, or things that you do or you could do because of the environment that you're in. Our environment, the things that we see around us, the things that people around us do, the kind of things that we're exposed to as we grow, kind of shape the things that we become interested in. And we often only think about this from like a career point of view, like what you want to be when you grow up, and it's things that you see people around you doing or things that you've heard people talk about that you tend to talk about. But I think it also plays into the kinds of hobbies and interests that we have. Often when you hear people talk about how they developed an interest in reading or became obsessed with books, is because, oh, maybe their parent or grandparent or a neighbor or someone had a huge library of books, or maybe people in their class were always reading and their friends were reading and they started reading or something. So that hobby became a thing because of the people that they were surrounded by. So back to walking. When I lived in Lagos, I didn't like walking anywhere. Like even to walk from my door to my gate was very exhausting because it was so hot, and also because you couldn't walk on the road, like except you lived in like a gated estate or something. You couldn't just take walks. It's literally dangerous to your life to attempt to just take a walk in Lagos because cars are fighting with you for the pavement. There are bikes also fighting with you for the pavement. It's not conducive for long walks or even short walks. When I started my first office job, when I was in Unilag, I had been working before then, but like now I had to go to an office. It was actually like a 40-minute walk from my hostel where I was staying then, which is about the same distance that my current office is from my house. And I walk to the office most of the time, except when I'm late, like I have a meeting and I left the house late and I need to take the metro. But I only attempted the walk from my office, my house to my hostel to my office then once, because first of all there were potholes everywhere. I was like just trying to avoid potholes. There were bikes fighting for the pavement with me, keke fighting with me for the pavement, and cars also fight. Like it was very hectic and stressful, and it was hot and I was sweaty. And I was like, yeah, no, this is not going to work. And that kind of like killed my dreams of walking. The only times I used to walk was when I was walking from hostel to school, because that was kind of safe. Like there was good walking space, and then when you got into school as well, there was space to walk. So I used to walk a lot like within Unilag, except on this where it was like really hot. But the point I'm trying to make is I walk more now than I walked when I was in Lagos, and it's because the environment was not conducive for walking. But here the environment is. I actually don't walk as much in summer, except like really early in the morning or really late in the night when it's cooler, because I absolutely cannot walk when it's too hot. It's just uncomfortable. But anyway, I walked a very long distance yesterday with my friend, and it just made me think about all of this, like how even the interests that we have can be shaped by our environment, what is accessible to us, what we see, and what we can do. I know people have like cycling clubs and walking clubs and all of those things in Lagos, but like it just didn't work for me. I remember trying to do a walking group with some of my friends who also lived in Yaba. That was after like long after I finished school and was living had moved back to Yaba. And I went like a couple of times, but it was just very annoying, like fighting for your life where you're taking a walk. So some other things that I started doing since I moved that I never ever would have done in Lagos. And again, is that thing about like what is in your environment, what is accessible to you. All my friends know that I started baking when I moved here because it was so easy. You could find things easily in the grocery store. I started cooking and making things. Like the other day, I was thinking of making my own peri peri sauce. Like I would never have thought about these things when I was in Lagos. In the last episode yesterday, I was talking about how I want to be doing woodwork and sculpting and things. Like my brain did not have space to think about these things when I was in Lagos. This is not to say that there are not people who are doing those things, but for me, it just didn't cross my mind because there were so many other things I was dealing with and things that it didn't even register that, oh, I could actually do this thing. But now that I'm here, it feels like, oh, I can actually like create things from wood and make small items or even make large pieces of furniture. I eat broccoli now. I absolutely love broccoli. And if I don't think I would have eaten broccoli ever if I didn't move here because first of all, everything I know about broccoli came from Powerpuff Girls and all the other cartoons. And all the cartoons talk about broccoli like it's the worst thing that has ever been made in this life. And so I never like was interested in eating it until like there was something happening here and I could just like taste it and I was like, oh, this is actually not bad. And now I eat broccoli like almost every day. But the point of all of this is that a lot of the things that we like or don't like, our interests, our hobbies, all of these things are really shaped by and can be limited by the environment that we grow up in. And a way to overcome that is to try to expose ourselves to other things outside of our immediate vicinity. And thank God for the internet. Like you can learn about so many things that you otherwise would not have had access to, which is both a blessing and a curse. But let's look at the bright side. Fortunately, you can explore things and discover new hobbies and do new things that you might otherwise not have done before and find out that you actually like them. Like I actually like long walks. I thought I was like a 1 hour walk was the, or maybe 90 minutes was the cap that I could do, but then I walked for like over 5 hours and I didn't feel tired the next day. My joints and my body and my muscles were not aching. I felt great and I want to do it again. Like I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. I actually want to do it again. And that's where I leave you today. Bye. Thanks for listening. Here's your regular reminder that I am accepting questions for the podcast. So please submit a question through the link in the description or the show notes, and I will answer in a future episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things with Lade Tawak. If you enjoyed any part of this episode or found any part of it useful or insightful, please leave a comment if you can on your podcast listening app. Like, subscribe, all the nice things, and of course share with someone, anyone at all. Thank you. Bye. When I was in my